Alright, Greg, we're going on another random trip. You ready to go see some random stuff?
Yeah, these are my favorite trips.
You guys that maybe haven't seen the original one that we did last year, at the end of last year, it's kind of like a lost and found type out and about. I'll put that link down below, and you guys can see that possibly for the first time because it's kind of an older video, and I had it unlisted for random reasons. But that'll be the link down below. There we go.
That was a pretty good first stop. I'll take that.
Yeah, there's a lot to see. I don't know if any of it was any good, but
Get what you pay for.
yeah, I got $2 worth. So we looked at a bunch of 80s stuff. Did you see some pretty funny stuff in there?
Yeah, I saw a lot of things that brought back some good memories.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, watching what I used to pay $2 to rent, we just bought for 50 cents.
We thought about a couple of things, but I ended up getting this. This is the Ghostbusters 2 and the gold clamshell for $1. And then I got this one. I just couldn't pass it up. I got Dino Riders. I just thought for nostalgia. It says 1987. I'm sure it's just one episode, but for 99 cents on that, I hadn't seen these out really ever. And I don't think it's out on DVD. So, yep, that's about it. So, off to the next place. Now, where are we at, Greg?
We are at the Family Dollar.
Yeah, we went from the Family Store to the Family Dollar. Was that what that other place was called?
No, it's the Salvation Army Family Store.
Yeah, the Salvation Army Family Store. So now we're at the Family Dollar. I've never been this place, so we'll see what they got.
It was like the super center of Salvation Army.
Yeah, it was. It was the nicest one ever, and it had like an old dried up water fountain in it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So, Greg, that was a bust.
That was the ultimate letdown.
They had like $6 really bad used DVDs, and
Yeah.
the candy wasn't really weird.
Yeah.
So we go inside, and this place, the aisles are so thin, like if you turn sideways, you just rub your shoulders.
Yeah, it's definitely not made for people like me.
Yeah, Greg just stayed at the edges and goes,
Yeah.
"Look down there."
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna go try somewhere else. Here we go. This was a bust. We didn't buy anything there. All right, Greg, where are we at?
We are at Del Rancho's.
This place is about as vintage as it gets, is it not?
No, yeah. I remember eating here with my grandpa like at least 20 years ago.
Yeah, this place is so vintage.
All right, during this part, you'll see Greg is actually on an old 70s style phone hanging from this table. He's actually ordering our food. We actually sit at this table and then we pass our order on down through that. But there is copyrighted music in the background, so I'm re-recording this audio. This restaurant has sat in this location probably since the 1970s at least. Maybe early 1980s, but I've been aware of it for since the 70s. It's the same logo system that they've been using forever on their menus and everything, and this phone has probably been there for at least 30 years.
Sure is a lot of onions, Greg.
Yeah, I got eggs in mine. Chickadee.
This place, like, is there sewer leaking or something?
I don't know.
This is the most direct to the point corn chips I've ever seen. Yellow round.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
You can get them online too.
This is another case of copyrighted music, but I just wanted to show this figure has absolutely no left arm. Still sealed in the package. Unbelievable.
Did we find anything interesting at the Dollar Tree?
I've been in this store many times before, and I saw some things today that most archaeologists would love to find.
Yeah, these were definitely throwbacks.
Yeah, we found it.
Yeah, we found
We
it.
found a whole bag full.
Alright, so we go inside, and we're kind of on a mission. We're going to see if we can find some fun stuff, like kind of like Jake and Owen do on their channel. So I'll put a link down below if you want to check out their channel. They do lots of things where they try interesting things and do reviews of all kinds of crazy candy and stuff from Big Lots. So we went to the Dollar Tree. We found a few interesting things, but we're going to go to Big Lots also. So we'll save that and show that to you guys at the end. About the time we need the Pepto.
Yeah, has some Drano.
Here we go. Are you effing kidding me?
Only in Oklahoma.
That's like 6 lanes of traffic.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Big Lots again.
Back at Bidlocks. This is good stuff. This is the grand finale.
All right, Greg. We went to Big Lots to look for some random food. Their DVDs were kind of crap, and then we found some interesting food that we'll hold off. We'll show you guys a little bit later.
Let's just say this is going to be the redneck version of Fear Factor.
Yeah, exactly. It might be one of those things where this might be the evidence.
Yeah, I'm going right now to make a co-payment on my insurance, just in case.
So now we're headed over to Vintage Stock, and we're hoping to show some 80s related things, like kind of on the 80s theme. The reason I'm doing the 80s theme is because over on the collab channel, the YouTube Refugees, I'll put that link down below too. So you guys will have 3 links down there. But the bottom link will be to the channel of the YouTube Refugees, where we're going to do an 80s month coming up pretty soon. And I've actually not showed some stuff today specifically because I'm holding out for some prizes and some stuff I want to do in the contest. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So if you guys enjoy 80s related stuff, definitely go over there. I just put up a sneak preview video, 80s related, on Monday of this week. So yeah, so we're headed over to Vintage Stock, look at some, I don't know, NES games, maybe some action figures, just VHS tapes, kind of whatever we can find. So here we go.
Out.
Okay, so Greg and I are talking about doing like I guess like the random food, Big Lots candy type thing, and I was kind of introducing him to the idea of like trying really random stuff, even if it's horrible, just to throw it away. Because Big Lots has its own variety of food that can be found no other place in the world. So we're talking about that, and we go to the Dollar Tree and we go to Big Lots. But then afterwards, I told Greg, I was like, I can't think of any other place that would have stuff like that. Then he told this story.
Well, I used to live in this town about 12 years ago, and they have this place called the Bent Can Store, and you can go in there and they got really good prices, but none of the cans have labels on them. About probably an hour and a half drive, I'll drive down there and we each pick out 1 can on the shelf, but we have to eat what's in the can, no matter what it is.
Just like a bite, like you have to try.
Yeah, just one. Don't have to eat the whole can.
Well, I mean, like, how cheap are these cans?
I don't know, like you can get like a 64-ounce can of ketchup for like 50 cents.
Tell your jalapeno pepper story.
Yeah, I went in there one time looking for some sliced jalapenos, and I get the can home and it's a big can of ketchup. And I called them and they're like, "Well, that's why it's called the Bent Can Store. No refunds." So yeah, I just kind of had a sad face. I was kind of disappointed because I wanted some jalapeno peppers, but that's the fun of it. I think it's gonna be fun. We're gonna each pick a can, and then whatever's in there, no matter what, we're gonna eat it.
Roll the dice.
Yeah, you might get tamales. You never know.
You may get. What did we see in the can here? Smoked oysters.
Yes, there were smoked oysters. There were smoked mussels. I'm not even sure how to eat that.
Oh gosh. So we're off to Vintage Stock. I just randomly found what I didn't even know existed. There's another Dollar Tree over here. We're going.
All right, we're there.
We found some random stuff at the other Dollar Tree, and this is a newer one, so I don't know if it's better or worse. This must have just came in recently. So here we go. All right, so we went into
the brand new dollar store.
We went in, the new Dollar. Was it Dollar Trees?
Or Dollar Tree. I'm sorry. Yeah, they didn't have carpet in that one. It had actual tiles. We got some. Well, we got some more food. I'll just leave it at that. We'll reveal it later. But
more mystery foods.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to keep it a mystery. It's because we really don't know what they are.
Yeah, I have no idea what's in it.
Yeah, there's some stuff in there that there's a difference between having fun and like taking risk with your life. Yeah. To Vintage Stock we go.
This is more copyrighted music area, so I was just going to show you what is also going to be NES titles, and then here's some Atari titles with some Super NES. These are some of the cheaper titles that are not in the glass, just like $5 and under. Here's some action figures I found, which are mostly newer stuff, 90s and beyond. But there is a few things like from the 80s, and I point out that there is a Scott Pilgrim figure that's fairly new, and then there's a Swamp Thing that's fairly old. Here's some of the older figures, which are the more collectible stuff. There is some original stuff in here mixed with just some newer things that are more expensive that they keep under the glass. There's also some vintage Star Wars up there, and then here's some a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think there was a Casey Jones in.
All right, so we went into vintage stock and looked at a bunch of random stuff. I can never shoot as much video as I'd like in there. I try, but it's like people just keep coming up and like stand behind you or say something or whatever. But Greg and I both tried to find either games that like we never really owned or we just barely played. We kind of wanted to try a game that we'd never played before, but at the same time we thought, I'm not going to spend like $5-10 on something that may be like horrible. We had Cobra Triangle. We actually had played this when we were kids. So I'm pretty sure we rented this one because I'd played it. I don't remember anybody that I knew owning it. But yeah, I got Cobra Triangle. It was $3. That's not bad. I mean, considering, if you'd have bought that online, the shipping would have been higher than that. The next one we got was Jackal. I've never played this. This one was $4. But Greg said he remembered one of our friends had it, and it was kind of like, what did we say, like Akari Warriors or something like that? It was like an overhead thing, but you're in like a vehicle instead of on foot, So 2 original NESs, and we're going to try them out on the Retro Duo. That's what I play my games on. Okay, on the last video we had said that the part 2 was coming and it was going to be movie memory, so we actually never got around to doing that, so we're just going to do it now. This will be part 2 of kind of like the finishing the discussion of what we were talking about in that original video when we were driving. We were driving actually on the same highway when we were driving home. And we're talking about different movies from the 80s that we liked, including like Creepshow 2,
Creepshow, those are good ones.
Yeah. Do you remember when Creepshow 2 came out originally? Like it very first came out on video, and we were so excited. I mean, like I vividly remember we had already seen the original Creepshow. So as soon as that came out, that was a new release. And I think that came out like in 87, 88.
Boy, yeah.
It was about 7th grade, 6th grade. And it was a big, big deal when that came out. And the same way with Maximum Overdrive. We rented that when it was still a new release, and that was a big deal. We watched that a lot.
Maximum Overdrive was I don't know, I think it's supposed to be a horror movie, but we laughed more than we did. I mean, I don't know.
How different is that movie to watch now, Maximum Overdrive?
It's crazy.
You know how annoying that girl's voice is, and all the music, yeet, yeet, yeet. Yeah. It's like, it's out of control.
All it is an AC/DC soundtrack.
AC/DC, and then like the regular like score soundtrack.
Yeah.
Sounds like Psycho or something. Remember? It's like every time they show that truck.
My favorite part of that whole movie was when that Coke machine shooting them Cokes out at that guy, and then that steamroller runs over that kid.
Kid on the bicycle's running.
Yeah, that was funny.
That is pretty funny. Yeah, Maximum Overdrive is probably one of those movies that really, to me, seems like the 80s. We rented that a lot, and we rented Labyrinth a ton. I remember renting that several times. That was always really funny.
Did you see it? Shut up!
What's one that we watched in the 80s, for instance, that just, out of all the movies we watched, it still, like sticks with you?
I think probably one that we could watch, it doesn't matter 100 times and never get old, it's probably The Goonies.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. Did you actually have that on tape? Did you tape that one maybe?
Yeah, my aunt. Like they had cable back before everybody else did. Like,
oh yeah.
With that HBO, and she used to tape she sent me like 50 VCR tapes, had like 2 or 3 movies on them.
That's what that used to be the cool thing, is because they'd have like those 6-hour extended plays. So you just get like 3 movies.
I can't even remember what most of their names were, but I just remember if she sent it, I watched it. I mean, some of them were good, some of them were crappy, but
I kind of had a similar thing. I had like a cousin, and she's kind of like an aunt, and she had cable back when nobody did. And she sent me The Boy Who Could Fly. I mean, like random 80s movies. Do you remember that, The Boy Who Could Fly? I mean, it was like a really weird movie, but to me, that's like such an 80s movie that I would have never seen, except for it was just thrown on a tape,
Well, there was one that had the little kid from Christmas Story. I think his name's Peter Billingsley. It's called The Dirt Bike Kid.
Dirt Bike Kid. That one is hard to find. That actually has never come out on DVD. People still talk about, or at least I don't think it's come out on DVD, but that's like a really popular one, The Dirt Bike Kid.
That one, and then there was another one. I think it was called The $1 Million Duck or something. But it laid golden eggs, and it was crazy.
And that might be is that a 70s Disney maybe? It might be. I don't know.
It could be.
It's an old one though. We watched Naked Gun a lot. That was kind of like, that was a funny one. That one and the second one. I don't really remember watching the third one that much, but I remember watching the first 2. What was the name of that movie that may have been the 80s, but it might have been the 70s? The guy that played Mr. Cotter from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, Fast Break.
Fast Break.
Yeah.
That one, now that's a kind of hard movie to. I guarantee you that probably doesn't exist on DVD. That's probably VHS only.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was like one of those ones that like your mom or somebody had found like randomly at like Walmart or Target for like just a couple bucks on VHS.
That was one of the ones you found at a truck stop in the 80s.
Yeah, that was like kind of a big thing. Is like back in the day, people had like conversion vans, and like right around the 80s, you would start to see people that had like little TVs and VCRs in their vans. And it was like kind of a weird thing. You'd go to like truck stops and go to gas stations, and they'd have really cheap movies that people could just pick up while they're like out on vacation or whatever. It's a weird concept, but they do it on DVD now. But yeah, back in the day, it was really, really bad VHS. All right, so I'm gonna jump off here, and we'll go inside all this crap and set up the camera, and it'll be Fear Factor after this.
I'm excited. I got my Pepto, I got my Alka-Seltzer. Let's do this.